For added enjoyment on this particular video, I've decided to film myself with my Lando Maliari hairdo. I've kind of let my hair go out of whack here, so for all those who don't know who Lando Maliari is, I'm going to put a picture of him right here. That's what I look like now. Okay, I'm making this video. This is a video I've wanted to make for a little while, and you may see me look behind me because I have most of the information written back here, so I'll try to give visual representations to help people like programs and so forth that I recommend and so forth. I've wanted to make this video for a while because one of my videos that get hits a lot that has nothing to do with the whole Honda Insight or any of the stuff that really has to do with my channel is the one on how to play a thumb drive on your car stereo. Now, the manufacturers of these car stereos, and when you're dealing with things like MP3s and so forth, many of these stereos can respond very differently. Songs that play normally on one car may not play on another, and so forth. So I'm going to give you a few ways to try to help you troubleshoot some of these ideas. Now, this mostly has to do with hooking up something like a thumb drive and playing your music off a thumb drive through your car stereo. That's usually we're talking about. Most of these car stereos we're talking about mostly ones that come with the manufacturer, like maybe a Ford car stereo or a Nissan's car stereo that has USB hookups and so forth. Aftermarket is a little different. Usually they're a little bit more in tune on playing just about everything without any serious issues, but the car ones can be a little bit more troublesome. This also doesn't take in consideration you're hooking your cell phone and playing off your cell phone. A few things you need to keep in mind with a cell phone is that the cell phone itself may have settings for audio all on its own that could be affecting the sound playback of your audio. So you'd have to go into your audio settings of your cell phone. Also, there are various programs and their settings and how they'll affect your music. So this is a little different for that. But I'm mostly dealing with something simple like using a thumb drive, big one, small one, doesn't matter, on your stereo, and why you may not be getting some of your songs to work properly. All right, so we're going to first start with a very simple thing of if you're playing from a thumb drive, make sure you look in your manual about your size limitations. Sometimes I tell you, sometimes I don't. I don't recommend taking a 128 gigabyte thumb drive with 5,000 songs on it and plugging it into your car stereo. A lot of these car stereos are probably not going to read them all correctly. They may not. Usually stick with 8, 16 gigs, something like that, but look in your manual to see. That will make a big, that can make a big difference because a lot of these cars just will not read these large ones. Also, USB 2, USB 3, although that shouldn't make any difference. Any of the modern day or even past day cars should be able to read any USB thumb drive stick because, quite frankly, the 3.0 versions are backwards compatible with 2.0. But just in case, you never can tell, this is something you can also try. Also, you can always try a different manufacturer thumb drive. There are various manufacturers, PNY, SanDisk, etc. If you tried all the other things I've done in this, one of the other things to check is the manufacturer of the thumb drive. Also, try just a new thumb drive, a different one, and so forth. That's very important because sometimes there can be incompatibilities, or you got a ratty thumb drive, or you bought it through Wish.com or some other weird place that got, or even a regular, legitimate place that got a hokey thumb drive that's not a legit thumb drive. That happens sometimes. Formatting of the thumb drive is also very important. Generally, I can't speak for Macintoshes, but Mac should be able to do this as well. Most stereos want it in the FAT32 format. It can read it better that way. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I don't know enough about computers in that aspect. At least I used to, but not anymore. FAT32 is usually reformat the thumb drive into a FAT32. Also, you should read your manual and make sure it can read the format of the music you've put in there. MP3, .flac, .ogg. It's very important to check that too. Just because you're thinking, well, it should be able to read it, doesn't mean it does read it. Not all stereos are made the same. All right, now we're going to get into a little bit more simple, esoteric ways to try to figure out what's going on. I can't tell you how many times I've taken a thumb drive that's music plays perfectly fine on my Honda, but some of the songs don't play on the Hyundai. Now, I know these songs work, but they don't work on the Hyundai, but they work on the Honda. Why? Not all decoders are the same. There are a lot of decoders out there. There are a lot of encoders out there. A lot of systems encode, and that's in MP3 format as well. Different encoders and different decoders. So, what you can do, the first thing, what I would generally recommend is make your the structure of your thumb drive simple. Well, actually, I'm going to go there. First of all, put one song on your thumb drive. If you're having problems playing any songs on it, just take one or two songs, put it on your thumb drive, stick it in your car, start up your car, let your car sit for a few minutes so it can read the thumb drive and everything, and see if you can play any of the songs that way. That way you can find out whether to go on to the step of looking for the format of the whether you need to re-encode the music, or there might be another situation involved. Keep your structure simple too. A lot of people may want to break it down into different folders, Pink Floyd and all that kind of stuff. If you're able to read some songs but not other songs, you might want to go into a very simple, just put all your songs in a single folder, or no folder at all. Just put it on the main branch right there, right at top. Just drag and drop them right onto there, so they're right there on top. You can't speak for how intelligent these systems are and whether they're how deeply nested into folders it'll read. Some are more detailed than others. A good example as an idea also is a lot of people on my Honda, and you may bump into this as well, may have, let's say, we'll make a nice easy number, 100 songs. I plug it in there, and at the very beginning, when you put a brand new thumb drive that the car has never read, it'll first read it'll say files, and you'll be able to play individual files. But when it comes to artists and all that kind of stuff, it won't have anything. It'll just be a very basic menu. On the Honda, it's not very fast. My Honda takes, I have about 500-600 songs on my thumb drive. My Honda takes about 45 minutes to go through all the metadata, and then it starts separating them to artists and so forth. So driving around a little while with the thumb drive in there, a couple of days, if you have short trips and so forth, may give your computer time, especially if you know your radio is supposed to be able to read that kind of data. Like the artist, the record name, and all that, so you can choose it by that kind of stuff. It may take some time, because remember, they're not going to put the most powerful or best chips into these radios. They need to keep it cheap. So you may run into a thing like that. But like I said, keep the structure simple and try a few songs at a time. Now, if you only have a couple of songs that don't work, try a couple of those songs that don't work by themselves on the thumb drive and see if that makes any difference. It's not really going to help you much, but just as an idea as well. Try a different encoding program. Now, this is where things get very strange. There are different encoders and decoders that are out there, and the radios, not all radios are created equal. You may have encoded something a couple of years ago that was pretty common and that most good stereos can read. But this particular, maybe like my case, my Hyundai can't read this particular format. It's the correct format. It's MP3. It should be able to read MP3 no problem, but it can't read it correctly. You probably want to see about compressing the file. You can take like a regular MP3, you can find another program, and you could try compressing the file that way. One of the programs I do like to use is Audacity. My Audacity latest version that I use is 3.0.2. Some people complained about Audacity becoming a little commercial and so forth, or at least looking into your data and so forth. I think that was reversed. But just in case you don't feel comfortable with that, Audacity version 3.0.2 is what I use. Many times you can open up your old MP3 file, and you just load it into your system. And basically you can go into File, and you choose Export as, and then you choose MP3, WAV, OGG, whatever. I would use MP3. WAVs are way too large. As you choose Export to MP3, you could choose bit rates, channel mode. I just use joint stereo. And I set it to insane 320 kilobits. Of course, if it's already been recorded at 128, you're not going to get anything more, but except a larger file. And basically, you can save it as that, and it'll basically re-encode it in whatever the encoder they're using. I found pretty much everything that comes off of that works very well. So I would generally recommend that as a program to try using. So encoders make a big difference. Another thing. Some of your, if you are ripping music, and let's say you've ripped like 5-6 songs, you put it on a thumb drive, doesn't work, try a different ripping program. Find another program that's better at ripping songs, may use a different encoder decoder. These things can make a big difference, believe it or not. So you should also look into different kinds of music rippers for ripping off your CDs, or just all, various MP3s that you've had on your car. Really isn't much else to say. The formatting, again, if you have a huge catalog of music, you're breaking it down to 1 million folders, and folders nested within folders, that can really throw things off. So that's about as far as I can go on this. I wanted to just give this as a general idea on how to look after your, how to get thumb drives to work properly on various stereos. Don't be freaked out if a song plays fine on one car and not on another. All you need to do is take that song, more than likely just needs to be re-encoded again, and it'll probably work on all, both cars. It just means that one of your cars doesn't have a proper decoder for that particular version of the MP3 encoder that was put on there, and it just doesn't have the right decoder. So this is very common, and it can happen a lot. If anyone has any questions, you can send them to me. I'm not like the pro at this, but I just wanted to make this simple video for other people to help them figure out how to make their thumb drives play their music properly on their cars. Verdier out.